Hey guys! This is a disaster. It disconnects within like 2 seconds. The thing about my apartment complex. Okay, cool. I have the chat on my phone on my computer so I can easily see it. Anyways, so it's been like a hot minute since I've live streamed. I've been working on my Our Lady of Guadalupe video, which was so intense and so much research. I had to read a book on it. I read the primary documents. I filmed it the other day and it was 2.5 hours of raw footage for one video. So I had to edit through 2.5 hours and then I had to edit in like shots of the Guadalupe and everything. But anyways, I am so excited for you guys to see that video. I put so much love into it and yeah, there's just so many miracles in it. It's like a 40-minute video talking about Our Lady of Guadalupe just because there's the history of the apparitions that you have to talk about. Then there's like the hidden meanings in all of the parts of the cloth. And then there are flowers on it that are literal words in a language. So, and then I talked about how he got canonized, and then I talked about how it's never been destroyed and it got bombed and acid was poured on it, all these things. So it was just like a really intense video to make. So yeah, this is my like Marian apparition series is like going strong now. I remember like a month ago in a live stream, I was like, I don't know what to make videos about anymore. And people were like, do a Marian apparition series. So I did my Fatima video reaction and then I did this one is the next one. So I'm gonna read through comments and see what you guys want me to talk about. I didn't come into this video wanting to talk about anything. I know everyone's gonna ask about the Pope Francis statement having to do with the Pope Francis statement recently about civil unions. So on my social media, I shared a podcast by Trent Horn. He went in depth into it and talked about the context. It was from a few years back from a recent documentary, was playing a clip from a few years back. So he shared the context of it and talked about the topic really well. So Council of Trent, I know it's so funny what it's called. I was listening to some of his other podcast. It's really good. I might become a Patreon subscriber to hear more of his podcast. He has a really good radio voice and it's just really interesting. It's funny. So yeah, I like his work that he does a lot for theology and apologetics and everything. He's a great person. So Crossing the Trail says, hi Lizzie, hello, it's been a while. Noel says, I love the St. Damiano's, am I pronouncing that wrong? Cross that you are holding, that it's in the thumbnail. We have that too. It belongs to my mother-in-law, bless her soul. Yeah, Trevor gave it to me. It's my absolute favorite type of crucifix. It's not really a crucifix, but in some Catholic churches I've been to, it's been in the center as a crucifix, which is so cool. Common Sense America, missed you, Lizzie. I missed you guys too. I don't know why. I was just like addicted to work and didn't want to live stream and like mess up my flow. So, Raul, I can finally see you. Charlie says, God bless you as well. Noelle says, good morning from the Philippines. Ooh, what time is it right now for you guys? It's been a while, my friend. How are you? I'm good. So I'm writing a book. I know I've been talking about this for like 3 years, but I recently got the rights back because I'm not allowed to talk about it, basically, the situation, because I have a non-disclosure agreement that I signed with one company, and then they didn't want to publish me, but they wouldn't give it back to me. So now I have the rights back and I'm working on it so intensely. Like there were a couple days where I worked for like 10 hours a day, just like editing and writing. So I have so much material there. I have 3 chapters that are like perfect that I'm so happy with. The first chapter I'm gonna send to publishing companies as like my proposal. It's really good. It's like, I think that, like, for example, Scott Hahn's Rome Sweet Home, he like starts at the beginning talking about his childhood and growing up. My book starts like in the middle of my conversion, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to spoil it, but instead of just being like chronological, the first chapter is like diving in and like all this chaotic stuff is going on, and then I start over with chapter 2 talking about childhood and moving forward chronologically. So the first chapter is like so intense and just like into the frying pan of everything happening. So yeah, I'm really excited whenever you guys read it. It's gonna be so fun sharing so much of my heart and soul with you guys. Hopefully it will convert even more people. You'll learn more details about me you didn't know, which I don't know if anything will actually be like new information. I probably shouldn't be saying this with a book. I should be like, it's all things you don't know. But I have like 800 YouTube videos, like dozens of hours of live streams. Like, what do you guys not know about me? So there are a few things talking in depth. There's gonna be a lot of my like bipolar in it as well. So yeah, let's see more comments. Ricardo says, I love you. I love you too. Heart of the Orthodox Christian. I can't believe I'm a moderator. Yay. Thank you. Get rid of all the mean comments for me. Okay. Janessa. Hi, Lizzie. I'm a big fan. Thank you for all your mental health work. You're welcome. I'm so happy it helps people. Like, I never would have guessed when I was going through severe depression and in these manic spikes, like I never would have guessed that any good would have come out of it. And I know, like, as Christians, we're always supposed to believe, like, God works everything for his good, like, everything happens for a reason, all these things. But, like, when I was in the middle of it, I did not believe that anything good would come out of it. It was just, like, such a dark hole and, like, dark night of the soul, horrible. And, yeah, it's been, like, the biggest blessing ever going through all that pain. Like, I don't know what I would say in the moment if I could look into my future. But now that I'm past that, every single horrible thing that happened to me was worth it for being able to help so many people. Like, it was all worth it. I would go through it again to help people. So luckily I'm medicated now, so I don't have to go through it again, but yeah. Mariah says, hey Lizzie, hi. Did you include the reflections in her eyes? Yes! I talked about Mary's. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for you guys to watch the Guadalupe video. Just watch the entire thing. It's 40 minutes, but it's well worth it. But yeah, literally, Mary's like that. And so, like, only part of her eye is shown, but in her eye, it's a reflection like a real human eye. And I'm actually gonna make a part 2, Guadalupe 10 lies people believe about Guadalupe, because there's some weird stuff people are sharing on the internet in blogs about Guadalupe. Like, one thing I read, obviously this wasn't like research for my video, but I was looking for pictures of the tilma, like blown up pictures of the tilma, to use in my video because I have to show everything. And so some of those were connected to blogs that were talking about Our Lady of Guadalupe and just making stuff up about it. They were like, if you put an ultrasound around the tilma, you can hear a baby's heartbeat. And they're like, the temperature of the tilma is that of a human body. Like, just making up stuff about it that I thought was hilarious. Okay. Love from Malaysia. Hi, Tatum. How are you doing? What time is it there for you guys? Videos, ideas, the 7 Sacraments, Catholic Bible commentary. Oh, I'll screenshot this. That's a good idea. Nancy says hi. Hi. Raul says his material is great. Nancy, what podcast? Trent Horn. Google Trent Horn. So Trent and then Horn. He does like a ton of podcasts and talks and like records talks and everything. So they're really great. Missed you, Lizzie. Missed you too. Daniel says, good evening, Lizzie. It is kind of funny that at the moment that I ended my chaplet of the 7 Stars of Mary, the notification of your live stream showed up. Aw, that's perfect. I'm glad you had time to pray today. Hi, Lizzie, you rock. Love you bunches, Therese says. I love you too. It is now 11 a.m. in the Philippines. Nice. Where? Sorry, I just lost all the comments. I'm going to read through all of them. Oh, I found it. Okay. Video idea, how to evangelize as a Catholic. I already have a video on that. Hello from Texas. I want to read your book. Yay. Thank you, Faith. Hello, my first time here. Human history got less human. That's a funny username. Hi. I'm glad you made it into a live stream. Hello. Good to watch you live. Hi, Pada. Computer Geek 86. You are amazing. Jonathan the Melkite says, I'm the only one who thinks that it is ironic that Trent Horn and Matt Fradd are Byzantine Catholics when their shows are Council of Trent and Pencil with Aquinas. Yeah, that's true. It's really interesting. Cool, Lizzie is on. I didn't know that Trent Horn was Byzantine Catholic. That's so cool. I want to be Byzantine Catholic in the future. Whenever I get married to Trevor, then we might do Byzantine Catholic, like if we have kids and stuff. So, because we both love the liturgy so much, and you guys know, like, I almost became Orthodox, so yes. Arnold says, hi, Lizzie. Hi. Noelle says, oh, he's talking to someone else. Eric says, Lizzie, you're cool, but Catholics have an awful history. Every single religion, civilization, philosophy, education, everything has a horrible history. There are evil people in the world, evil people part of the church, evil people part of every country, every religion, every ideology. Comes evil people and wars and horrible things that have happened. It's not the Catholic Church that specifically causes war. There's actually a book that I really recommend called The Myth of Religious Violence. So go look it up. The Myth of Religious Violence will probably be the first book that comes up. So that's actually a great video idea to talk about how Catholicism, is Catholicism inherently violent? No. Okay. Janessa says, so much good can come out of it in talking about mental illness. I also suffer from depression and your videos have helped me immensely. Do you pray to Saint Dimphna? David asks. No, I don't really feel understood by her because I feel like having bipolar versus having like depression or anxiety is like completely different. So I don't feel like she's not the saint of bipolar disorder. Like we need a saint of bipolar disorder, but it would have to be like a really recent thing because like official psychiatric diagnoses have only been within the past like few hundred years. Like you couldn't go back in time and be like, Irenaeus was bipolar. Like, I don't think he was, but you know what I mean? You can't like go back in time and diagnose someone, so it'd have to be like pretty recent. Rudolph, thank you so much for the donation. Any thoughts about gay civil union support by Pope Francis? Not sure if you've talked about it, but interesting in your perspective. So the media completely blew it out of proportion. They completely just straight up misrepresented it because Pope Francis is not saying he wants Catholics to be in civil unions. And he was not saying that he wants gay marriage. So what from the articles that I read, they like completely took it out of context. And it was really, really frustrating. Like my family and friends even asked me about it. And so I had to kind of like correct it and say that we don't have gay marriage in Catholicism and we're not going to. He was saying more like on a civil level, like allowing someone to see their partner in the hospital if they're dying or being part of the will. So I really recommend if you just got here to go watch the Trent Horn podcast on this. It's on his social media. I put it on my Twitter and Facebook page, so go to my social media and you'll find it. And he talks about it for like an hour and really dives into the subject and shows the context of it because no one heard the context of it. It was just in a documentary and it was a quote that was made years ago. Okay. A.R. Jaspered, thank you for the donation. Love you, Lizzie. I've watched you on YouTube since the beginning, and I'm so glad you're Catholic. I'm so glad that you're Catholic, too. Okay. Victor says, hi, Lizzie. Just wanted to say I also love your story and how you got to where you are. Also, you're such an inspiration as an entertainer, and I hope I can also reach people through music. Catholic for life. Share with me your music on my social media. I want to listen to it. Heart of the Orthodox Christian. Which idols? Okay, they're talking about idols. Weird. Lizzie, do you know you are appreciated? Yes. I feel very, very, very loved and known and understood and appreciated by all of you guys as my subscribers. I've been doing this for 10 years. Trevor thinks that I have an ego from being a YouTuber because you constantly hear positive comments being like, you're amazing, I love you, I became Catholic because of you, I didn't kill myself because of you, like constant positive comments. And I am such an optimist that I don't even see the negative comments. Like when people make negative comments, I'm like, oh, like they're complimenting me. Like I don't even see it because I'm such like a positive, like pure person. So it doesn't get to me at all. And I barely get hate as well compared to other people because I'm really careful with how I phrase things. Like a lot of the Christian channels get attacked by so many atheist channels. And you'll notice that I have like, I don't get constant videos making fun of me or talking about me because I try to present everything in a respectful, loving way. So yeah, I'm the reason I don't get hate. I blame certain Christian channels for getting hate. James says, howdy from the great state of Texas. Lizzie is the people? Okay, I love that color on you. Beautiful, Teresa says. Thank you. This is, my favorite colors are pink, blue, black, and white. So the dress I was just filming in for my video next video tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. My Guadalupe video is premiering. It's 40 minutes long, so come to the premiere. We can hang out together, live chat together as it's going on. But my video after that is called 5 Reasons Not to Pray the Rosary Debunked. And in that video, I wear this light blue color. That's my favorite shade of blue, and I'm pretty sure that's the bridesmaid's dress color I want on my wedding because I love blue so much. It's so pretty. Okay, let's see. Jacob Hilderman says, rank these fave to least fave: Anabaptist, Catholic, Protestant, and Eastern Orthodox. So obviously Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, I would say Protestant, and then Anabaptist, because some Protestant churches like Anglican and Episcopal and Lutheran are closer to Catholicism than some other churches. So like the further you get away from the Reformation, the more and more less and less Catholic that you get. Okay. A ton of comments were deleted, so my moderators are doing a great job of getting rid of comments. Okay. Eastern Orthodox Christians in Mexico also have great veneration of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Okay, I'm continuing reading every single comment. Well, not every single comment. I'm reading, if there's questions, I'm reading the questions. And people will still be like, why are you ignoring me? Why are you not reading my comment? You're intentionally avoiding answering my questions. And it's like, no, there's a lot of comments to work through. Okay, let's see. Faith Wisdom, so I was talking about lies that people believe about the Guadalupe. Someone's like, if you put a phone next to Mary's mouth, she'll start talking to you. That's like some of the stuff people come up with. It's so ridiculous. Crossing the Trail, thank you so much for the donation. I finished the book Pope Peter this week. Proves papacy and debunks myths of the real church being invisible instead of a visible organization. That's so cool. I'm going to screenshot this. That sounds like a fun book to read. Different is Bread says, why is everyone writing full paragraphs? Because, okay, I'm the YouTuber who makes like hour-and-a-half videos and like 3-hour live streams. So I feel like my subscriber base, like the people I attract, like long content and are comfortable with that. So let's keep reading. Crossing the Trail says, now that I bought Fatima on Prime Video, I've watched it 3 more times, right? Isn't it so good? Okay, let's see. Hello, Lizzie. I would really appreciate you exploring our different Catholic traditions here at the Philippines. I really want to visit the Philippines so much. I want to visit Mexico. I've been to Mexico before, but I want to go to Our Lady of Guadalupe Basilica in Mexico. And okay, Trevor was telling me that you can't film inside certain churches. Like in certain countries, it's like not okay to take pictures inside of the church. And I was like, what if Our Lady of Guadalupe is like that? Because I was Googling to find pictures of it, and there aren't a lot of pictures inside the actual basilica. And he's like, maybe in their culture, you're not allowed to take pictures. And I was like, what? Because in the US, whenever I'm traveling around, I always take pictures of like all the icons and stained glass and statues and crucifixes. Like I always just like go around taking pictures of everything. And then I want to be in pictures with things. So I'm so curious. No, you are allowed. Yeah, share what country you're from and whether or not it's appropriate to take pictures inside the Catholic Church. People take videos inside my church sometimes if the music is good or something. So you can take pics, but not while they're in Mass. Okay, that's fair. Freedom in Yeshua Ministry says, as a non-Catholic and an evangelist, I had a very nice discussion with an Orthodox Christian when I was in London. We both liked the chants music and we discussed about images, etc. Aw, that's so sweet. Ecumenism. Jay says, wanted to let you know I have been praying the rosary daily for about 50 days so far because of your video of praying it for 30 days. Oh, that's so cool. I hope you've been loving it so much. It's so rewarding. Guys, I wanted to share this with you guys. So I have my, it's right here. I'll show you guys. I have my prayer request book and I have one page, several pages actually, with lists of people I'm praying for to become Catholic. And guess what? One of the people on the list last night said she wants to become Catholic. I've been praying with this list since February, like every single day, so many rosaries. And someone from the list is going to be Catholic and is already reading a Bishop Barron book about Catholicism. And I'm like, I cried. I was so happy because it's like, you don't see any result from a lot of the people I'm praying for to become Catholic. Like a lot of the other things, I've seen direct results, intercession. So much has come true from this prayer book. But the people becoming Catholic, it's like, I expect I might have to pray for 5 years every day for some of these people to become Catholic. But this person was within like February, March, April, May, June, September, October. 8 months and we got one person. I wonder how long it's going to take for everyone else to convert. But there's moments, like there's breakthrough moments I have with so many people where I'm like, oh, like this is going to push them more likely to become Catholic. So, and hopefully my desire with writing a book is that like my family and friends will read my book, and half the book is going to be loads of theology evidence proving that the Catholic Church is the original church founded by Jesus. Like they won't watch my YouTube videos, but they might read my book because it's like my best friend came out with a book. I should probably read it. So, what are your thoughts on the Pope scandal? We already talked about it. Go to my social media. I placed a link to a podcast that talks about it really, really in depth in a great way that puts it into context, unlike the media who take it out of context. A comment with BUKO something, I would like to hear why people leave Catholicism. Because people grew up not knowing the fullness of the faith, not knowing Catholicism at all. Like there's so many people who don't even believe in the Eucharist, who don't even know that the Catholic Church teaches the theology of the Eucharist. Like so many people, there's studies and it's like a third of Catholics or something. Like it's crazy the amount of people who don't even know basic facts about the Catholic Church. So they're ignorant. People leave because they're ignorant and grew up not being catechized well. It's not their fault for being ignorant. It's the fault of the parish that they went to. Their parents are especially at fault. Their youth minister, their priest. Like there's so many people at fault for when someone leaves the church. Catholic schools are horrible. Just like so many things going on. So, Mariana says, hey Lizzie, hi. Peace be with you and all on this live. Jonathan the Melkite is sharing where Trent Horn goes to church. Someone actually commented on my post and said he recently moved to Texas. But don't dox people, guys. Like, that's horrible, sharing where, like, a huge Catholic celebrity goes to church. Like, if someone did that to me, I would be so angry. I'd probably have to switch churches. So, yeah, don't tell people where Trent Horn goes to churches. If I have stalkers, he probably has stalkers. Freedom in Yeshua Ministries, because they were saying, why does Catholicism have such an evil history? And I was like, every religion, nation, ethnicity has an evil history. And he's like, most problems in the world are actually caused by atheists. Nobody wants to admit it. Yeah. So, I made a video response to a Jacqueline Glenn video, her big video, I'm an atheist, like, she's an atheist, like the horrible video. So I made my video response to it, and she said in her video that atheist societies are the most tolerant. And I was like, the Soviet Union, Maoist China, like atheist societies, they're the least tolerant places. They're like the worst places to live. So yeah, I was shocked that she said that and like didn't think about the actual atheist countries that are horrible to live in, have been horrible to live in. Okay. Five Sky Dragon says, I want to be Catholic, but I can't do RCIA. Is it possible to test out? You have to be like Scott Hahn to test out. I don't think he did RCIA. You have to be like a scholar and prove that you know like a ton of things. Like, I don't think you can test out if you're just like a regular person. Like, I came to my RCIA and I was like, Polycarp, Irenaeus, Ignatius. I was like listing off all my evidence when I met the priest for the first time. And he was like, great, you'll be here until Easter, like with everyone else. Everyone has to go through it. And I should probably make a whole video about my RCIA experience, but it's fun. Like, you meet a lot of people, you get to ask a lot of questions, it's very like conversational. We watched Bishop Barron videos. I learned so much in my RCIA about Catholic philosophy, and I would never have wanted to skip through that. And then you get to know people from your church who are also converts. Like, you literally make friends. It's like being in a small group, only it's your RCIA small group. So it's really, really fun. Okay. More questions. Jonathan the Melkite says, as if war and violence didn't exist before the church. Yeah, the Catholic Church did not create violence or anything. Boris says, hey Lizzie, I'm from a Protestant family and I'm trying to convert to Catholicism. Unfortunately, my family isn't supportive and are negative to Catholicism. My name is Joseph from Germany. So my parents were horrible in their reaction. My parents are not horrible, but their reaction to me becoming Catholic was really, really hard. We cut off communication for a period of time. So it was awful becoming Catholic for me because of how much I hurt my family. Like, I wounded my parents. It was so bad. They were so scared for me. They were sad. They were mad. They didn't understand it. They felt hurt that I didn't ask them about it before converting. Like, so many emotions going on, but you have to focus on Jesus and the Eucharist and it being the original church of Jesus. Like, Jesus shares a parable where he says you have to hate your father and mother and family compared to him. Like, you love God so much and are so sacrificial in following him that it's as if you hate other people in your life. And he literally talks about how we will be going against mother and daughter, father and son. Like, you have to leave your parents for God. Like, there's literally Bible verses about this. And it's actually crazy. The first time I ever went to an Orthodox service back in 2017, the scripture reading was the one about leaving father and mother for Christ. And I was like, dang, this is like what I will have to do. So it was really convicting. That's Jesus' own words. And so, like, there's so much suffering that goes into being a Christian and so much sacrifice. And that's why the whole point is taking your cross and following Jesus. And so it shouldn't be surprising that there are hurdles and sacrifices you have to make when converting. Okay. Daniel says, I really want to go to Latin Mass because it's so amazing. I even memorized the Gloria, Our Father, and Hail Mary in Latin. I also like Byzantine Rite. I have icons all over my room. Same. I have so many icons. I don't have like pictures of people. I just have pictures of Christians. Actually, no, I have some pictures of friends, but mostly Christians. Victoria says, I want to be a religious sister, but I want children and a husband also. Sounds like you have to pray about it more and discern. I would talk to your priest and ask, like, or current religious sisters, like, what help if you're at a point where, like, you love or... Okay. Trudy says, how do you know God's will for my life? How do I know? So... read the Bible, read church history, read the saints' writings, listen to the homilies at your Mass, and make a decision based upon all of that information. It's not like God's gonna directly talk to you and be like, marry this person, go to this college, have this career, be friends with this person, go to this church. Like, God doesn't directly speak to 99.9% of people. Will never hear God directly speaking through them, and that's okay. We had God physically come to earth, and Jesus' words are preserved in the Bible on how to live. And so you're not gonna have like a whisper. I mean, honestly, guys, if you do hear God's voice, you might have a mental illness. Like, it's more likely you have bipolar psychosis or schizophrenia if you hear a voice that you think is God than it actually being God. And so, like, with the Marian apparition series I have, like, the bishops didn't even believe the people when they had the apparition and were directly hearing from Mary because people have mental illness. And so you're not going to directly hear from God about your life. There are so many options. It's more about the intention of your heart than the actual exterior. The interior is so much more important. I mean this in a nice way. If Trevor, my boyfriend, told you he was gay, would you still marry him? So Trevor is very attracted to me, so he's not gay. Who knows? Maybe he's bisexual and doesn't realize it. But I think everyone is on, okay, so there's this thing called like the Kinsey scale, which is like same-sex attracted, heterosexual attracted, bisexual, and everyone is on the scale somewhere. And so I think I'm more on like the like fluid side than Trevor is. Like Trevor's very certain. Like I've talked to some certain that he's not bisexual. Like I've talked to some of my friends and they're like, yeah, like I would be comfortable kissing someone of the same gender. And I'm like, okay, like, but they don't identify as bisexual. So I think everything is on a spectrum. Point being, he's very sure he's not bisexual even. So yeah, but I probably wouldn't marry someone if they were gay because you have to have sex in marriage, and if they're not attracted to you sexually, you can't marry them. Like I think that's unfair to both people, and that's what's really sad. Like if someone doesn't tell you going into the marriage that they're not attracted to your gender, I think that's really problematic. And I know like it's happened in the past because it was like less acceptable, but yeah, so I don't think I would marry someone if they told me yeah, I don't know. Maybe we would have a spiritual marriage. That's like such an interesting question. Like, yeah, maybe I would marry him and we just would never have sex, and it would be like spiritual marriage is something they did in the 2nd century where you would be like married to someone, but you would be celibate. So maybe we would do that. But like, I would want to adopt children and stuff. So yeah, maybe I would still marry him and we would be celibate. That could actually make sense. So yeah, maybe I would still marry him. That's like a big question. I would have to ask like all of his intentions in it and everything. Okay. Bruno says, have you been to Brazil? Do you pretend in the future? I think they mean, don't speak English very well. I think they mean when you go to Brazil. Yes, I absolutely want to visit Brazil. Mexico, Philippines, Brazil, Rome, Jerusalem eventually. So yeah, those are all my thoughts on places I would want to visit. God bless you, Lizzie. God bless you, Ma Arlenz Rosales. I want to become Coptic Orthodox, become Catholic instead. Coptic has some heresies. Do you think you could do a video about the different rites? That's really interesting. Yes. I'm going to screenshot this. How do you make holy water at home? I should make a video on holy water. Everyone doesn't have holy water at their parishes right now, but like they've decided that, they've studied it and found that COVID does not spread through water. So why don't we have holy water at all of our churches then? It makes no sense that they got rid of holy water. It can't spread through water. Like they've been saying this like since the beginning of summer when talking about opening pools and stuff. But holy water, the priest has to bless the water. So like at a lot of Catholic churches, they have like a water container, and then you can like pour water into your container and buy a holy font. There are so many ways to buy holy fonts. They're like on Amazon, and then you can put holy water in it and bless yourself coming in and out of your house or in and out of your bedroom. So I highly recommend that. I have a holy water fount. Obviously it's empty right now, but yeah, I also have like a bag of things that need to be blessed that I've like gotten throughout the quarantine situation. So this video is gonna get demonetized if I keep talking. I'm reading through a lot of comments, sifting through what I want to answer. I promise I'm paying attention. I'm not like looking off to something else on my computer. Okay. Already answered that question. Will your parents go to your wedding since it will be Catholic? Yeah, I mean, they haven't told me they won't come. I assume they will be there. My friends know that it will be a Catholic wedding. Obviously, they know that me and Trevor are Catholic. I haven't told them if there's going to be like a full mass So I'm probably going to tell everyone before the wedding, like, by the way, it's a full mass. Like, if you're against that, you're uninvited from the wedding. So I think everyone will be really chill with it. Like, most of my friends have been to mass before. Obviously, like, I'm getting married. It's not up to you what you want at the wedding. It's my wedding. So if people get offended and, like, don't even want to come since there's a mass, I don't know if I want those people in my life, you know? It's just, like, very intolerant. Like, I go to Protestant church with people. I have been to Protestant weddings. I've been to atheist weddings, but you won't come to a Catholic wedding? Like, what? It doesn't make sense. Okay. Fatima's here. Hi, how are you doing? Reading through comments. Fatima's talking about people becoming Catholic. She's like, someday your parents, with my favorite emoji that has like the hearts around it, like the hearts hugging it. Okay, here's a super comment. I'd like to talk, oh, okay. This person always gets blocked every single time. Okay. Why do you care if someone converts to Catholicism if they're Christian anyway? I made a whole video, why be Catholic and not just Christian, in which I answered that question in 20 minutes. So YouTube search Lizzie's Answers, why be Catholic and not just Christian, and you'll find the answer in that video. So bye, go watch that video now. Okay. Yes, it is true. You can't take pictures in some churches. I went to something in Paris. They have such a beautiful mosaic of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I wish I would have taken pictures. Interesting. Well, my thing about taking pictures isn't like during, before, after mass. It's always if like no one is praying in the church. If there's someone praying, I'm not gonna like walk to the front and be like taking selfies with Jesus and Mary statues. Like, that's super rude. I would never do that. So yeah, it's like when no one is there. And honestly, like in the US, if you're in big cities, there's like loads of people coming in, traveling, taking pictures, looking around. So a lot of touristy stuff going on. Has she talked about the Pope? Yes, I already talked about it. Go on my social media. Faith Wisdom says, having all the saints in heaven to ask for prayers 24/7 is great too. Yeah, because sometimes it's like something is so personal. Like, do you want to text your friends? Like, it's 2 a.m. Like, is your friend going to pray for you when you text them? But it's like the saints in heaven, like, that's their job. Like, that's the main thing they're doing, praying for us. So yeah, they're available at any moment. And yeah, I even think it's weird on like Catholic Twitter when people are like, pray for this. I'm thinking like, ask the saints in heaven to pray for you. Their prayers are more powerful than the people on earth. So yeah, it confuses me when people do that. Okay, I answered that question. Hi, Lizzie. Have you been in Holy Land, Jerusalem before? A lot of Catholic churches, especially the Bible, remarkable places. No, I definitely want to visit at some point in my life. It's not my priority because I want to do more like Catholic churches, tourism type stuff. So I would go to like Rome, Mexico, Brazil, Philippines before Jerusalem because I just want to go to like Catholic countries and stuff. Okay. Megan says, hey Lizzie, do you know if you can have a blessed be your patron saint? That's a really interesting question. So some people, before they become a saint, are considered blessed, so they're not a saint yet. So I would ask your priest or your RCIA director that question. So often confused by recent finding issues. Can a male convert have a female saint as his main saint? Yeah, my patron saint is named Irenaeus. A ton of people left when it, but like half the people left. My patron saint is a man. So if you're a guy, your patron saint can be a woman. Totally fine. As G.K. Chesterton said, when you take the supernatural out of the natural, you get the unnatural. God have mercy on atheists. Raul says, I have been through RCIA 1.5 times, and later I found out that because of my situation, I didn't even really have to go through RCIA and couldn't have been brought in after meeting with priest. And then the comment right underneath it is, RCIA is so much fun. Okay, Lizzie, we already answered the God's will for your life question. Noel says, hope that you can also speak about the Marian titles, the canonical crowning of venerated Marian image, and the Marian apparitions. Love you. Love you too. I'm going to screenshot this for my Mary series so I remember it. Okay. Mariana says, how is RCIA in the US like? Here in Brazil, it's really bad, and I've heard so many crazy stories from friends who said they were even teaching heresies there. Yeah, it's pretty bad here too, and like I've talked to people in Canada, and they're like, ours is really bad too. So my RCIA mostly watched videos of Bishop Barron. We watched the whole Catholicism series. We also did like Q&As with my priest about all sorts of topics. My boyfriend's RCIA, which I visited, my boyfriend and I, he was living in Nashville and I'm living in California. So when he was living there, he was going through RCIA. We became Catholic like at the same time. So whenever I visited him, I would be at his RCIA and it was like way better than mine. Like they went topical through like all the Catholic dogmas and they had some Q&A, but it was like lectures by the RCIA director who was an employee of the church, and it was like A+. So compared to that, every other RCIA is like not great. And a lot of them, I wouldn't say like, I haven't heard that they teach heresies, but they don't go over certain things. Like one of my friends, she said that she went through RCIA and she didn't know that you have to fast an hour before receiving the Eucharist. And someone else I talked to went through RCIA and didn't know that the church is against gay marriage and birth control. So I think some RCIAs like skip over important things. I wish that they had like an international or a national standard of like topics you have to cover. So I wish they had someone on top who made it more formalized rather than every church like doing it for themselves. Heart of the Orthodox Christian, Lizzie, want me to delete comments when politics are being talked about or debated here? Sure. I don't want to talk about politics on my channel anymore or on social media or ever. Like I'm never talking about politics again because I just think it gets like so controversial. People get heated, people get mad. And I love Bishop Barron wrote a really great blog post about the election, and I think I retweeted that, and that's all I'm gonna say. And honestly, okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I have so many thoughts. I finished watching the debate today. But yeah, so we're not gonna talk about that. So many other Catholics have talked about the election, and you can follow them and figure out who you want to vote for. Okay. Fatima says, that part about you inspired me so much, and even when I am a cradle Catholic, your passion for the Eucharist felt like a fire in my heart. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay. Rachel says, Lizzie, how can I meet more people in life? That's a really good question. So obviously we can't right now, but after there's a cure and a vaccine and everything, I meet people at church. I just get involved in the parish Bible study and parish small groups. So that's like my number one social way of making friends. It's just at church. And you can also go to like different classes. You can like go to a gym, go to workout classes, art classes, cooking classes, different things like that. But yeah, I would say like in college, it was really easy to make friends because I was in so many clubs and groups, and then like you talk to mutual friends. So post-college, I think it's really important getting plugged into and involved in a church. And I've noticed this with some of my friends when moving to a new town, they haven't gotten involved in their church and they haven't made many friends. So I think that's the easiest way to make friends. And then when you hang out with people from your church, then they can introduce you to their friends. So if you're new in a city, that's an easy way to make friends and get to know people in your neighborhood. Was every female saint a virgin? Absolutely not. There were many married women who are saints. And there are couples who are like canonized together, like a husband and a wife, which is really sweet. I would go to your wedding, Lizzie. Yeah, I mean, if my family and friends bail at my wedding because they don't want to be at mass, I might have to invite you guys so that there'll be people at my wedding. Chad says, in the Philippines, we celebrate All Saints and All Souls Day by going to the cemetery and remembering our dead relatives, friends, and loved ones. I'm curious, how do you celebrate this in the United States? We don't really celebrate it. We have mass on the day and that's it. We don't do anything. I'm sure within different cultures within the US, they might do it. But I mean, there's like a lot of Hispanic people at my parish and we don't do anything for it. So, yeah. Someone wants me to talk about, let's see. Sorry, I was like reading through the comments and then it went like do all the way to the bottom and I lost my place. Okay. Where is it? There are so many comments. I'm trying to read through all of them. Okay, here. What can you say about blessed Carlo Acutis, who is the factor that affects your life because he is patron of the internet? I'm gonna start praying to him for sure. He's not like canonized yet, but when he is canonized, I mean, maybe we should be praying for medical miracles with him to like get him canonized. Maybe that's the way to look at it. But yeah, he's amazing. I'm definitely gonna do some videos on Eucharistic miracles. So I'll definitely access some of his information. He finally happening that we're getting things that like completely relate to my life and everything. It's so cool. It's also really freaky. Like in my Bible study, we were talking about how in Acts, one of the church fathers was talking about how God did miracles to comfort everyone because it was like a comforting thing that instilled your belief in him. But my reaction to miracles is fear. Like when I saw Carlos incorruptible, it like freaked me out. Like it was scary because it's so supernatural and you realize God is so powerful to completely go against all the rules of science and medicine and how humans are. It's just like insane. Like I get scared, you get chills. Like it's weird, it's bizarre, it's crazy. It's like one of those things in Catholicism that's like so above our ability to even understand. So my reaction to miracles is fear. I don't know if you guys are like that. Maybe I need more faith, but it's like, yeah, when you comprehend what's going on, it's crazy. Okay. Looking through comments. Fatima says you are welcome in my home in Mexico. Oh, I would love to meet you so much. That would be so fun. Okay, let's see more comments. How are you? Visit the Virgin Island of the Philippines. Really? Is that like named after Mary? I never thought of that. I've heard of that place, but okay. I drink some holy water every morning. No, you don't. That's a troll comment. That's like sacrilegious to be drinking holy water? Like seriously? No way. Lizzie, why is it most Americans don't believe that holy water is drinkable? Are you guys trolling me right now? I have so much holy water. Yeah, I mean, I should have stocked up on it before everything started with the pandemic. Okay. I need to get a lot of my sacramentals blessed. I'm in the same boat. Do you guys believe it is a sin to watch anime? I've noticed the themes of some of them resemble pagan stuff. Interesting. I would talk to your priest about it. Okay. Patreon is demonic. Okay, guys, so you know, like the inside joke we have where everything is demonic, like bread is demonic, light is demonic, electricity is demonic, the ocean is demonic, bipolar is demonic. So my 2 videos from now is a reaction to a Protestant who made a post 5 reasons not to pray the rosary, and one of them is the rosary is demonic. That was like one of their points. It was so funny. So now when we do our demonic inside joke chat together, we can be like, the rosary is demonic. I think it was so funny. I tried so hard to like come across as respectful in that situation rather than like laugh at someone, because I was like, what if the person who wrote it, or like Protestants Against the Rosary, find the video? Like, I want to come across as really respectful. So going through the comments. Google account is here. I hope you're doing well, Lizzie. I am. Lots of comments getting deleted. Wow. Lizzie, are we allowed to pray the Jesus prayer on a rosary? Yes, you can. We talked about Carlo Acutis. I was buffering, going down. I have Francis de Sales. Crossing the Trail says, I have Francis de Sales as my patron saint, which is great because he brought thousands of Calvinists back to the true church in Geneva. That's so cool. What an epic saint if you bring people back to being Catholic. That's so cool. Alexander says, I think it makes more sense for your patron saint to be the opposite gender. I don't know why. Yeah, I feel like everyone thinks their patron saint has to be the same gender, but yeah, you don't have to. Mine isn't. I never for a moment thought that it needed to be. Alexander says, my saint is Teresa of Avila. Oh, her saint day was last week. Hi, Lizzie, you are awesome. God bless you. Thank you for all the emojis. That's sweet. Daniel said, my patron saint is Saint Dominic de Guzman. He founded the order of preachers and destroyed the Albigensian heresy in France. He was also a good friend of Saint Francis of Assisi. Aww. Google account says, Lizzie, do you watch Dr. Taylor Marshall at all? Yes, I don't watch every single one of his videos. I probably watch like 1 in 4, 1 in 5 of his videos. So I do find his content very interesting. He does really good current event content. I would never do. I don't like bringing up politics and like current events and drama all the time, but he's like really, really good at covering it. Okay. Alexander said, I have to write an essay about why I think Mother Teresa is the most important woman in Catholic history. How am I supposed to do that? I don't think she's the most important woman in church history. Yeah, I mean, in school growing up, you always have to like write, not in like AP classes on the debate team, you have to argue for things that you disagree with. So I think that's a good exercise, to be arguing for something you disagree with. You remind me of a Disney princess in a good way. I mean, I'm wearing my highlight today, so that might be part of it from the new Selena Gomez makeup line. The lip color is from her line too. I highly recommend it. For some reason, I was taught we have to fast 30 minutes before Mass, but it's actually an hour. Interesting. Pope Francis is amazing says, my patron saint is Our Lady of Fatima. I was born on the same day that she first appeared, not the same year, of course. That's really, really cool, having Mary as your patron saint. My friend at my parish, who I sponsored when she got confirmed, her patron saint was Mary. So you can totally pick Mary as your patron saint. Kurt says, for real, my college Catholic center has a discourse chat specifically for political discussions and deep theological topics. I had to leave because it was getting a bit too heated, for sure. Okay. Reading through comments. Wow. One person got like 5 of their comments deleted. Rio, you're back. Wow, I don't understand what he said. It must have been really bad. Okay. Jonathan the Melkite is trolling me and he says, we put holy water in the bread we bake for the Eucharist in most Eastern churches. Is that real? You use holy water in baking the Eucharist? That's so cool. I actually love that a lot. Like the Orthodox Church I went to a ton in 2017, they had a class on baking the bread that becomes the Eucharist. It's so cool that they make it homemade because like that's what they would have done in the early church, right? So why can't we still do it like that today? It's way cooler. Father Ripaguru says it's okay to drink holy water. So you can do like a holy water shot every morning. Western Rite holy water usually has salt in it. Yeah, most put salt in it. I was gonna say all, but I was like, I don't know 100% if that's all, but some do. Lizzie's pink shirt is demonic. Okay. Orange juice is demonic. Drawers are demonic. Demons are demonic. Babies are demonic. Lizzie, I'm feeling very awkward right now. It's like since I came here, stuff happened. I'm just here because you're mine and I have other friends on here. Okay. Any tips for starting a Christian YouTube channel? Message me on Twitter or Instagram and I will get back to you on tips for starting a YouTube channel. Mixing blessed salt with holy water is no longer a norm after Vatican II. However, some priests still do bless water with salt. Interesting. Medicine is demonic. Google and accounts are demonic, but don't worry, Google account is not. The rosary is on the Bible a priest on YouTube shows. If something has the word virgin in its name, it is named after the Virgin Mary, no exceptions. What about extra virgin olive oil? I don't think that's named after Mary. Okay. Raul says my patron saint is an archangel, so there is no gender there. You know Saint Therese of Lisieux? She is my patron saint. Yes, I love her. I read her book. What is your reaction to other Christians regarding Saint Mary Magdalene as a prostitute and a sinner when we consider her as a saint? It's like we experience confession and forgiveness, and so we view her in a different way. But yeah, like obviously she's one of the women at the foot of the cross with just Mary and John and Mary Magdalene, like that's it. So I don't know why. I think because we never focused on the crucifixion that much, I didn't think about like the power that she was one of the only people there, that she was that strong and that devoted and that in love with Jesus. But yeah, it's interesting how we think of her so differently. Saint Nicholas of Japan is my patron saint. My patron saint is Saint Alfonso Ligora, Doctor of the Church, patron of moral theology. Wow, that's really, really cool. Politics are demonic. No politics talk here. Loves you, Lizzie. Thank you. I learned that apparently Pope Francis actually saved countless people from being executed by a military dictatorship when he was a bishop back in Argentina. You should look into it. That's so cool. Let me look into it. I'm going to screenshot. Reading comments. Keys are demonic. Hi, Lizzie. Purple Beat says, you helped me leave Protestantism. Thank you. Yay. Welcome home. I always turn to Mary as my spiritual mother. Alexander says you can fast 30 minutes before Mass. You have to fast 30 minutes before communion. Yeah, and so some people use that and then eat 30 minutes before Mass because you're only going to receive the Eucharist like towards the end of Mass. But honestly, in the early church and in still a lot of Orthodox churches today, they fast for all morning until Mass. That's what it used to be. You fasted from the night before at dinner and you did not eat until you received the Eucharist on Sunday. So now we've watered it down so much, it's just 1 hour, and then watered it down even more by saying calculate time and hour from when you receive the Eucharist in Mass to when, which honestly, you receive the Eucharist at the end of Mass. So you could be eating like 10 minutes before Mass. And I just think like that's not the spirit of the rule. The spirit of the rule is you're fasting and you're waiting to receive Jesus. And when I go to daily Mass in the morning, obviously not now, but when I have, it's really, really amazing that that's like my breakfast. And that's why I like going to Mass in the morning on Sunday morning and not eating before Mass, which I actually didn't do the fast for a while because one of my bipolar meds I had to take in the morning with food. And so it just didn't work out with like the timing a lot. But now that I'm off that medicine, I do the Eucharist fast. And sometimes I'm hungry and I love that. Like I love being physically hungry and spiritually craving Jesus. I just think it's a good feeling. So let's read more comments. Lizzie, are you going to address what the Pope said about same-sex marriage? We already did several times, but go to my social media. I made a post about it to Trent Horn's podcast that covers it really, really well. Pope Francis is amazing says, Lizard, we both have bipolar platonic heart. The Eastern churches are so holy. Several layers of holiness. Do you think Francis Chan is going to become Catholic? Yes, I made a video about how he's going to become Catholic like a year ago, or he's probably like gonna announce like next Easter or something, like I'm becoming Catholic, like make it public, but I'm sure he's already like heavily in the process of converting. Holy water shot every time she says I made a whole video on it. I know I say that so much because there's like 120 videos or something. So it's like, okay. Lizzie, would you and Trevor ever consider joining a secular religious institute for consecrated life? Both be married and considering becoming like a deacon once he's married afterwards. He's open to that. I don't know. We haven't talked about it in a while, so maybe he's not. But yeah, that would be really, really interesting. Drinking holy water protects you from a demonic attack. I really want to start drinking holy water. I just feel like it's sacrilegious and everyone's saying they do it. That's crazy. What do you guys think Christians who say I sin to wear a mask for COVID? You sin if you don't wear a mask or if you do? My take on it is that if you're not obeying the governing authorities, which is literally St. Paul talks about that in Romans, to obey the governing authorities, unless they're telling you to go against Jesus. If the governing authorities are telling you to wear a mask every time you're outside, you should obey your local or state law on that. And if Biden gets elected, apparently like everyone always outside wearing a mask. So we just have to obey the governing authorities. And I know some people disagree with the governing authorities, but it has nothing to do with attacking our faith. It has to do with the public health crisis and saving people's lives. So everyone who's pro-life, so passionate about being pro-life, be pro-life for the elderly people too. We care about the unborn. We should also care about the elderly people a lot. And that's whose lives we're saving. In Ethiopia, Catholics and Coptic Orthodox people drink holy water. This is like blowing my mind, you guys. I thought people were trolling me at first, but that's crazy. That's so, so cool. Reading through comments. Jay says, I don't think this is true. The Eucharist fasting is to avoid having digestive acids in your stomach at the time of receiving the Eucharist. I think it's just to honor Jesus and have time to fast before, so you're craving him instead. It's like a respect thing because it's so holy what we're receiving. And I actually feel really weird eating after receiving the Eucharist because it's like you're fasting before and then the Eucharist is still in your body and then you're bringing other food into your body. So I always feel so weird eating after Mass. But like you should because you were fasting. So yeah, do you guys ever feel like that where you like don't want to eat after receiving the Eucharist? Because it's like if we're not supposed to eat before, why can we eat after? Like, yeah, it kind of messes with me a little bit. Guys, what is Liz's Instagram account? It's Lizzie Reezay. So it's LizziezayReezay is my Instagram, my first and my last name. Chad says holy water from Lourdes could be drunk. I don't know why you can't do the same with holy water blessed by priests, especially when it is potable. Anyways, we learn every day. Lizzie, love you. Love you too. I'm gonna talk to my priest about drinking holy water and ask his thoughts on it. I'm just so curious what it will be like in California. Oh yes, it feels like sacrilege showering Jesus with food. We don't want to mix Jesus with other food. By the way, guys, it's fine to eat after receiving the Eucharist. I'm just sharing like my intuitions that are wrong, but I have them. So I was just curious if anyone else feels the same way. Because I'm new at everything, so I just have like weird intuitions about things sometimes. Franco says, hi Lizzie, I love you. I love you too. I'm Mormon, but I find you interesting. God bless you, Lizzie. I'm glad you found the faith. I remember back when you were a Protestant channel. Yeah. The other day was the Feast of the Canadian Martyrs. Have you heard of them? No, I haven't. What's the story about them? I watched the debate between Trent Horn and James White on internal security. Both of them were inconsistent. Trent said if you fall away, it's because God didn't give you perseverance. Confusing. Interesting. I've really liked all the content I've seen from Trent Horn, so I don't know what my reaction would be to that debate. What are your parents' objections to becoming Catholic? So I honestly feel like they haven't digested and processed what I've told them about Catholicism. Because like the other day my mom said you worship Mary, like talking to me, like I personally worship Mary, saying I do. And I'm like, how is that possible to still think that after everything I've shared about like how I feel about Mary and our devotion to her and why she's Queen of Heaven and all these things? Like we've had literal conversations about it. So I feel like they just think that Catholicism, we worship the Pope, we worship Mary, we worship icons, we go against the Bible, we don't have real baptism, we're going to hell, like all these things, they are just like in their minds. And I wrote them a pretty long letter. I should go back and read it and see how good it is, like based upon everything I've read since then. But I sent a really long letter giving evidence for the Eucharist in the early church and the Pope and the bishops and everything, like Mary theology in the early church. And I guess like it didn't work. obviously, and like I pray for them every day to become Catholic, and eventually God will work through the prayer. I mean, he's probably already working through the prayer. Their guardian angels are working overtime trying to get them to convert. So maybe God is working really, really strongly. It's just going to take a while to see the results, but I know they'll eventually convert. Because the Church of Christ theology of believing that we need to be like the early church is ingrained in them so strongly. So eventually it'll click that they want to be like the early church. Okay, guys, we've been here for over an hour. I haven't live streamed in a while, so I'm gonna like work my way up to 2.5 hour live streams again. But I really appreciated everyone hanging out with me. I feel like I missed you guys a lot. I didn't realize how much I missed live streaming, but I definitely will live stream again soon. So I'll put on my social media in the morning when I'm gonna live stream at night. I'll actually plan ahead. And so many people right now are commenting and I can't read all of them, but I tried to read as many comments as possible from the beginning down to the end. I hope you guys got your comments and questions answered. So tomorrow my Guadalupe video is going up, and it's going up at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a 40-minute video, so we're gonna do a live chat premiere as it's premiering for the first time, which I would love if you guys were at, because I put so much time and love and so much into the video. So I'm really, really excited for how it turned out, and I think everyone will learn something. Unless you've like read the book that I read on it, you probably will learn something new about it and have so much excitement about the apparition. I'm so excited to go to Mexico and vlog when I get to see in person for the first time. And let me know which Marian apparition video you want me to make next. You can comment on the video which Mary video. We have a lot in the Mary playlist. And then after that, so next week my video is going to go up 5 reasons not to pray the rosary refuted. So I have that video, and then I have another video script talking about why Catholics don't worship Mary, and I'm gonna be like 5 reasons Protestants think Catholics worship Mary, and then do a reaction to that. Just because the fact that my like mom and friends and like my boyfriend's friends, like they all think we're worshiping Mary and doing idolatry, and so I think it's something that could be a really good thing to address to help people out with it. So I love you guys a lot, and I will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for my Guadalupe premiere. Bye.